everyone, welcome to Move Well, Live Well. We get a number of people that come in here with issues regarding their shoulder. In particular, what's going on with their shoulder is issues regarding their rotator cuff. Now, we see a lot of folks and we prescribe a lot of folks rotator cuff stretches. Now, what is the rotator cuff? Now, the rotator cuff are four muscles that make up that rotator cuff. A lot of people think it's a cup or a cuff, but it's actually four muscles. Now, these four muscles, they kind of help keep that shoulder in the socket. And they keep it in the socket properly, help stabilize the shoulder. But unfortunately, the way our life is, our lifestyle, we sit way too much. I'll go over it again. I can't emphasize how much we sit. Well, what's happening is as we sit, the shoulder, as we sit like this, you see a lot of folks doing this thing and they're having problems with their shoulder. Their shoulder now sits forward in the socket. So this is the socket of your shoulder and this is the head of the humerus in here. And what's happening as it rolls forward, it sits in the socket unevenly. And so the muscles, the rotator cuff muscles, the three in the back, have to work so hard to bring that shoulder back, to bring the shoulder back correctly into the socket. And they're having problems like popping and clicking. I'll put a link to the video that we just released last Friday of the popping and clicking in the shoulder. I'll put a link in that in the description. But and how to fix that. But what happens, that shoulder moves forward in the socket like this, and then it can't no longer glide properly in the socket. So it just kind of hangs out in the front, and it starts banging up into stuff and everything, and you get that popping and the clicking. But I'm going to show you 4 rotator cuff exercises that I know you probably aren't doing, because we see a lot of this, right? You're doing rotator cuff exercise, you're doing this, you're doing these, right? But which are all good and said and done, but you're missing that end range of the shoulder exercise, the end range external rotation. So 4, there's the Y, there's the T, there's the W, and then there's the L. What does that mean? So I'm going to turn around here. I'm going to show you these end range rotator cuff exercises that I know you probably aren't doing, but it's going to make your rotator cuff that much stronger. So that way when you do your exercises, bench, shoulder presses, deadlifts, it's going to help that shoulder sit in the socket much more stronger, much more stable, and then it can move and glide in all different ways without any problems. So it's going to help essentially make your shoulders indestructible. So these 4. So we'll start with the Y. So the Y is what it is. So you're starting here in the Y. See that? You're in the Y, like YMCA, right? You're here. This is a side view, right? And all you're doing essentially, you can do these standing up if you want to start, but ideally you move to the floor to do them. I'll demonstrate on the floor as well. So here you are, you're standing up in the Y like this. See that? And your thumbs are going to be back and your arms are going to be externally rotated. You see the upper arm? This is external rotation of the upper arm. So you're just not supinating the forearm, but you're externally rotating the upper arm, right? And then you're here. Just that end range, this. 1 set of 10. On the floor, it looks like this. Get on the floor here. Okay, so I am externally rotating. I'm in that Y position, right? Externally rotating here. Head is down, neutral, neck, and I'm squeezing. Getting the hands off the floor, arms off the floor. 1 set of 10. And squeeze. 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 Do that for 10 reps. So, that's the Y. That's the Y. Then there's the W. So the W is you're in here. See that? It makes my arms make a W. And again, I'm externally rotating, right? So I'm supinating my forearms, and I'm externally rotating. See that? My humerus, the upper arm bone, and then I'm going backward. See that? So I'm in the W, here, squeezing. behind, it's like this, squeeze. Doing these standing up is already going to be a challenge for most folks. So you can do these standing up. And then you can work down to the floor. Then you allow gravity to pull your arms down, and you're working against gravity. So, you're going to be here. Right? You're putting your, in a W, right? You're supinating the forearms, and you're externally rotating, right? The humerus, and then you're squeezing. Squeezing that. See that? Don't forget to breathe. 1 set of 10. That's it. Take a break, and you go into the T. See? The T. So it's like you're here, you do your T, right? Again, you're supinating the forearms, and you're externally rotating the shoulders, or excuse me, the upper arm. See that? So you're in a T, and then you're squeezing back. See that? See that? So the T, boom. Same thing here. Supinating, externally rotating the upper arm bone, and you're squeezing. See that? Let's come down here. Again, I'm supinating the forearm, externally rotating the shoulders, upper arm bone, squeezing. One set, 10 reps. Now then there's the L. Is this an L? Well, from you, that's an L. Yeah. So that's an L, right? So you put your arms in an L position, this. So again, you're going to supinate, so thumbs out. Supinate the forearms, and you're going to externally rotate the shoulders. See, the upper arm bone. Externally rotate, and then you're squeezing. Okay? Squeezing. In an L position, right? That's an L, right? It kind of looks like an L. Mm-hmm. Boom. See that? Boom. So on the floor, this is the challenging one for me. So on the floor, you're here. I am going to, arms at my sides, that. I'm externally rotating. Oh man, it's hard. Woo. Oh, that's the most challenging one, I think. So arms at your side right here, and trying to keep your arms up off the floor the hardest. Woo! And I didn't even do the full 10 reps for those 4. But 10 reps, 1 set for the Y, the W, the T, and the L. So 40 reps total. Take a break between those. And if you can't do 10, you start really fatiguing at like 5 or 6 or 8, then that's fine too. Work your way up to 10. And when you do these repetitions, you want to deliberately squeeze the sucker. It isn't about speed. It's about really squeezing those muscles back there. Really squeezing that external rotators of the shoulder. See that? The external rotators of the shoulder. Also, it'll help the scapular rotators. So you got the rhomboids in there, you get the lower trapezius, the trapezius muscles. Those will all come into play as well. Even the lats will all come into play with helping to stabilize the shoulder, strengthen those rotator cuff muscles. So that way, the ball sits in the socket nice and even instead of sitting forward. It'll bring that back so that way when you do your exercises, your daily life, you won't look like this. So, 4 rotator cuff exercises, strengthening shoulder exercises I know you're not doing. So do those. They're gonna help you out in the long run. Anyway, if you have any questions with this video, drop them off in the comment section below. We thank you for watching. We appreciate it. If you're new to this channel, hit subscribe. And when you hit subscribe, make sure you hit that bell notification button, because that will keep you posted to new videos coming here in the near future That way you can continue to move well and live well. Also, I know you know folks who are doing shoulder exercises, they're having shoulder pain, or they're having impingement syndrome, or they're getting clicking and popping in their shoulder, and show them this video. I'll bet you they're not doing these shoulder exercises, these end range shoulder exercises. They're gonna help strengthen that rotator cuff. Also, give us a thumbs up. It lets us know you care. Anyway, we appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.